Oh no, they nerfed Blood Surge. Wrong. Sure, they took some damage away from the Dominate glyph, but Blood Surge Summoner will still be one of the fastest leveling experiences. And even in the endgame Dominate, I'm currently at 14,000 alive in Season 3. That's weak. But in Season 4, it's going to be 40,000, 4,000 life. Because every piece of gear can now have maximum life, not just your chest or your helmet. Nah, your weapon, your boots, your pants, your gloves, your rings, your amulets, your focus. Everyone can have max life, and it can be masterwork. Out the skill Paragon, not sacrifices, because we're actually going to play our good old Reapers look like. And yes, we'll also talk about the new unique Cruel's Embrace, which are quite fun. First, the skills, I'm going to run them down as if I was leveling 1 to 100. And we do begin with Hemorrhage, because Hemorrhage always has the chance to make blood orbs, and it will provide us with a good amount of essence, especially with the bonus attack speed that Hemorrhage kind of has here. Those blood orbs heal you and your minions. Then we're going to have Blood Surge going on with Enhanced Blood Surge and Blood Surge going for the Overpower. Into our Corpse Explosion still, because Corpse Explosion will and always is free essence. Then we're boosting the Skeletal Warrior and the Skeletal Mage damage. What we won't need is Decrepify in the Blood Surge build during leveling at all. What we really do want though is that bonus essence in the beginning. We're going to be exploding any kind of corpse. We're going to be resummoning a skeleton or buffing the Skeletal Warriors. That gives us essence so we can Blood Surge more, which has our corpse tendrils, then slow people and make them vulnerable. Points into this is definitely for later. First, we want to have more damage multipliers, and we do want to have even more corpses, and then the damage multiplier. Ultimate wise for leveling, I would probably go for Army of the Dead because it's just too good to have. And I would actually do boost my Golem. Usually I don't do this, but in this build, it is better to have the Golem on your side do maximum damage as well. Then we're going to boost the crit chance and our Hellbang Commander. Currently says attack speed, but that will obviously be crit chance. That was the question. What is going to be doing the damage while we're leveling? Is it going to be our Rathamus Vigor, or are we rather looking for Callan's Addict bonus attack speed? The thing here is Rathamus Vigor provides one free overpower every 12 seconds, while Callan's Addict is simply always active. Sure, we could reduce this with picking up blood orbs, but we are kind of Blood Surge and not Blood Lands, so our blood orb consumption production is not there, which means that in the end, Callan's Addict is actually superior. And I think it's pronounced Callan's Edict, not Addict. Now, just to show you the skill bar in between, it's going to be Skeletons, Blood Surge, Corpse Explosion, Corpse Tendrils, and then Golem plus Army of the Dead. You don't actually see the basic skill anymore, because as soon as we have the Golem, we're going to phase the basic skill out. So you're going to begin with the basic skill. As soon as you're 25, unlock the Golem, it leaves, because you're going to have your Skeletal Mages provide you with the essence you need, plus then blast empty with your Blood Surge, use your Golem, use your Corpse Explosion, use your Tendrils, then you're able to Blood Surge again, rinse and repeat. And no, we're not using here the Iron Maiden as an essence production. Nah, that's rather going to be taking care of our minions with the Callan's Edict. Bringing us to more critical strike chance, so we can critical strike all out the way. We do want to have more movement speed to zoom around. We do want to have the maximum amount of fuel by death as we're consistently consuming corpses. Then more healing. Blood skills do more damage. Blood skills do more overpower damage. We do not need drain vitality. We do need one single point into drain vitality just for some lucky hit fortifying. And the blood orb production here is just simply never going to happen, so we're not going to put a single point into it. Lastly, you can do unliving energy with 3 points in imperfectly balanced. Boost your blood surge up to the max. Put 1 point into the enhanced corpse explosion size. And then as we're fairly leveled, I would yoink 1 point out of Grim Harvest for the essence production to actually have the plagued corpse explosion going on. That you then have your corpse explosion do have nasty multipliers as well to be able to provide some bonus damage. This should carry you nicely all the way from 1 to 100. And there's a very cool thing blood-wise about attack speed, because on my gloves, I could be playing Rathmas Chosen. Whenever your blood skills overpower, you gain 50% attack speed for 4 seconds. Well, that attack speed, 100% of your stats or your minion stats, goes over to your minions. That means if I get this overpower attack speed boost, because it doesn't say my overpower attacks attack speed, I just get 50% bonus attack speed. That makes you consider maybe we don't have to play Frenzied Den, because Frenzied Den is a 42% attack speed boost, but the Cult Leader node on minions kind of caps out on 100%. Sure, you could over attack speed, but technically, with Rathma's Chosen already going on, with you already having Overpowered, and then having another 30% bonus from your minions, they're already sitting at a comfortable 80% attack speed bonus without a single Paragon node or anything else. On your helmet, you would be playing Occult Dominion for Skeletal Warriors and Mages increased, perfection. And we gotta make sure to always be healthy, so Bloodgetter's aspect on the chest might be useful because it heals us as we're empowering our minions, but it gives us a damage multiplier as well that multiplies our Blood Surge even higher. And since we're playing Army of the Dead, how about we actually slam Unyielding Commander on our two-handed weapon, which would give our minions a 200% attack boost. And you do notice that we're not focusing here on the maximum amount of overpowered damage. This is like the Blood Surge Summoner. So Blood Surge is part of the Summoner, which means that we just get some more shebang out of here. Which brings us to the point of, what about the amulet, the unique one? Death Speaker's Pendant, blasting out our blood skills on all the minions. Would that not be plenty amazing nice? I did do some tests on the servers, and to be honest, it is still fun, but they actually introduced the aspect of the untimely death. Each percent of your maximum life you heal beyond 100% grants you a bonus critical strike damage on your next critical strike up to a 60% bonus. That was quite interesting as well on your amulet, and as you might get the bonus novas going on with the Death Speaker's Pendant, untimely death kind of felt more fun to actually use. Especially if you do choose a unique amulet, then you're not able to temper. And here you could temper for blood overpower damage, blood attack speed, but even more important, we could be doing more skeletal mage damage. We could be doing summoning damage in general, which probably works out better to boost your mages and have them do more damage instead of you doing more damage, because you're kind of like supplementing your minions by blood surging around and giving them that super bonus of attack speed. Now, I did put the attack speed on my gloves, right? And there is the new unique gloves called Cruor's Embrace. Blood Surge consumes corpses to cause mini novas, dealing X damage. Damage is increased by 10% per target drained by the initial cast up to 50%. So you do drain people harder, you do bonus damage for consumed corpses, and it's kind of fun and works actually well with minions because your minions are making tons of corpses. And that's the only way how to really use Cruor's Embrace, because if tons of corpses are not being made, then you're not really able to actually play around with your minions. That being said, it was more fun than killer useful. It is an interesting choice though if you don't want to be playing Corpse Explosion, because instead of consuming corpses with Corpse Explosion to trigger the Flesh Eater node, you're going to be consuming corpses with Cruor's Embrace to have your Blood Surge 2 more damage. But that's more for a full Blood Surge damage build where your minions are supplementing you rather than your minions actually being the damage while you're leveling. Because again, it's easier to scale your minions while leveling than it is to scale your Blood Surge while leveling at the very moment, because your minions just exist and are already crazy. That's why an endgame Blood Surge summoner would look a little bit different than the leveling Blood Surge summoner, but a build for that will come as well. To continue, my pants would be having Hardened Bones probably, to reduce the damage taken by me and my minions, making us a bit more sturdy as we need to stand relatively close to our opponents. On the boots, you could be thinking about playing Yen's Blessing. It has a chance to actually restore your primary resource, which is always good, damage reduction from close enemies, but most importantly, you can cast a non-mobility skill that's on cooldown, right? Which means you're spamming your Blood Surge and you could randomly just cast your Golem skills, because your Golem is not a mobility skill, and if that actually happens, your Golem just makes bonus corpses, or your Golem could go for a bonus slam, or even for the bonus blood aura sucking, which is kind of funny if you bonus trigger him every 8 seconds, or even your corpse turn rolls on top of that. Now, while leveling, you won't have that, so it's probably better in this case to then go for Metamorphosis or something to be having this unstoppable, since we're not playing Blood Mist. Blood Mist ain't just needed for leveling. It's needed for certain case scenarios, for certain pushes into tier 100 dungeons, but not while you're trying to get level 100. When you're then doing challenge content, deeper pits and so on, then you'll need Blood Mist. Now I'd say we're going to play a two-handed weapon. That leaves us 3 free aspects to play around with. One is definitely the bonus novas, because we want the bloodbath, right? We want one, Blood Surge Nova's echo again after short delay, dealing bonus damage. That's the double Nova. That's mandatory. That's what kind of makes Blood Surge the fun it is. Then I wouldn't go for a resource aspect, because now you would say, Pony, we need something to restore essence, like either exposed flesh or even bonus essence for the amount of minions we have. Because we're going to have a lot of attack speed, and our mages are going to be our cold mages, which give 3 essence per attack, whereas our warriors are going to be reapers for bonus corpses that also help us to restore essence. Now our golem, you can choose between the iron golem every second attack, we can taunt for the 5 corpses, or you could have a little bit of damage reduction happening, and with a little bit it's actually 30% from your blood golem, and then suck everyone dry. Usually I like the taunt golem, because if Jens Blessing later triggers him, he kind of works in such a ginormous area that he always taunts things together. Now, as a ring, you do want the Ring of Sacrilegious Souls at some point, because the Ring of Sacrilegious Souls is just plenty good. Raising your skeletons, corpse emeralds, corpse explosions, free essence essentially. Until you have that, you could just run around with an aspect of reanimation, for example, boosting your minions' damage. If you do pick that up, that's another 40% multiplier. Plenty good to have, especially with your unyielding commander cooking out here like crazy. Now the amulet could be Grasping Veins as you do the bonus critical strike damage, and that critical strike damage works on your overpowers as it does work over to your minions, especially an increased critical strike chance of your minions critical strike chance more as well. And as I said, untimely death is an option as well, because it just kind of boosts me to be able to overheal. And if I'm overhealing easily with a blood getter's aspect, because the skeletal priest is healing me all the time as well, then I'm going to be able to just crit harder. That being said, Grasping Veins kind of profits both of us, and therefore allows us to just strike fear into our opponent's hearts. This is probably, next to the Shadow, my most anticipated fun leveling build. Now to the Paragon board, as you're hitting level 50 and beyond, you do want to increase your life that you're actually able to overpower harder. So that's why we're going to have all these tiny little life nodes. I would, as my first glyph, still play Exhumation, because every interaction with a corp essentially allows us to fortify. More damage. Because right now we're simply fortifying over our 1 blood skill with the double novas, which is working, but there could be more fortified to be had. Wouldn't though boost the damage completely out, rather activate more glyphs. Before we go into the Cult Leader, let's go into the Flesh Eater first, because the Flesh Eater gives us the opportunity to get more critical strike damage, the 40% damage multiplier, the bonus damage to elites, and then we're activating this and we're activating that. Probably going to be putting in the Corporal glyph, because Corporal boosts physical damage. Physical damage is all we do, and it gives us bonus movement speed, allowing us to, well, zoom faster through the battlefields. I wouldn't go for this attack speed node up here. That is not needed, as we have enough attack speed with our Blood Surge overpowers and everything. Then into the Cult Leader board, as we're going to be picking up the minion damage. We're putting in the Dead Razor glyph, because that is simply more damage for me and the minions with the multiplier and the damage reduction. Sadly, I don't have this fully leveled up on this account, but we're going to go over here. We're going to pick up the minion damage, attack speed, very important, minion damage, then the attack speed and the minion damage. What you don't want to pick up is up here, the skeletal mage damage and the resistance to all elements and the armor, because the armor and the resistance are absolutely not needed. What you're rather going to go for is obviously the Cult Leader node, with the bonus of attack speed giving you bonus damage. And this is a 100% attack speed cap. Now from here, we're going to be moving downwards out of the board. And before we go into Send of Death, I would probably go over Bone Graft. And Bone Graft has a multi-use here, especially it wants to provide us Essence on Kill. Because Essence on Kill is, frankly spoken, just way too good to ever ignore. We're going to go in from the side. We're going to be picking up the dexterity-based nodes. Everything you find. Get that Essence glyph in here, which has 25 activated. Can pick up even more dex as you want. And before we're leaving the board, you're going to pick up Essence, and Essence on Kill. Because if we kill things, we do get Essence back, which allows us to smoother sail through the content. Which then gets us to the Bloodbath board, which is also needed for the bonus Overpower multiplier. Again, we're rather pushing our minions than our own Overpower multiplier, but that doesn't mean that we're going to be ignoring our own Overpower multiplier, especially as they're just so easy to get in here. Now, I have to admit, I put the dexterity glyph in here for essence, but I guess it will probably be better if I do actually go for the bonus critical strike chance over here, because that one is way easier to achieve and it has a bigger multiplier of 44, which then allows us to go outwards. What we would rather do there is pick up exploit, because exploit is very easy to activate. It only needs 25, and we can actually put a lot of points here away and just essentially zoom through. Bonus vulnerable damage, we get 33 left, and these 33 bring us into the Send of Death board. And the Send of Death board is really important because it does have even more criticals for us, right? Then we can pick up the Send of Death itself, but here the important one: willpower, 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 willpower. Then we're putting in the dominate. That's 20 out of 25. Then we can pick up willpower down here, and that brings us up to 42, which is currently 332%. That will be a wee bit lower, but it's still plenty high. Now we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 glyphs activated to boost our damage with a 40% multiplier. We're getting the minions strongly boosted. We're ignoring the bone graft. We even have the bloodbath super overpower happening, and we have the Send of Death. And this will allow us to just get to 100 in no time, to then go for a more endgame blood surge build as we're picking up more uniques and can try more things. What will it be for you? Shadow with Blind, Sever, Surge, or rather the Bone Spear Summoner? And if you're looking to understand the new level experience, here's a video and a live stream explaining both to you. Enjoy. Thank you for watching so far.